Picture this. A repertoire of stories doused in humility, farce, absurdity, travesty, mockery, all of the enjoyment you could ever ask for, all embroidered into the fabric of this stage. Fibers too stained to undirty, the sully acts that besmirch your graces within this very theatre. Enough with the theatrics and bring on the first act. Curtains. Lights. Action. Picture number 1. I dress completely different going to a church on my first Sunday. I purposefully dress terrible when I first go to a church before I commit to being a member because I want to see how they treat me. I want to fully know firsthand how people with far less than me would get treated just off looks alone if they went. Sweats and an oversized tee of sorts, no makeup, and disastrous I just woke up hair. Have a look at picture number 2. I stole a child's stuffed animal in 2007 and have held on to it for 14 years. In 2007, somewhere in Arizona, I think, a young girl was assigned a school project to send a stuffed animal around the world, picking up photos and other tiny tokens of the places it went before returning at the end of the school year for show and tell. Somehow, through a friend of a friend, that stuffed animal, a bunny, ended up in my hands. What I was supposed to do was send it on to someone else to help it along its trip in a timely manner. Reader, I did not do that. I forgot I had it. Many months passed before I realized it, and by then the guilt was so strong that I couldn't bring myself to admit my failure. So I stored it away where I wouldn't be reminded and threw away the identifying info about the original owner just in case someone else stumbled upon it and thought I was some weirdo hoarding the toys of children. Somewhere out there is a heartbroken girl who never saw her bunny again and had nothing to show at the end of the year. Next up, picture number 3. When I was 14, me and 2 friends scammed middle school party, twice. In 2014, me and 2 friends taught about making party for middle school kids. Something like graduation party but not related to school for grade 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a custom in our school for grade 8 to make party and me and 2 friends got a job to make it work. We went and rented some cafe club. We lied that it was 200E. It was 20E. One of the friends know the owner and that 20E was for cleaning after. And we took 2E from around 200 kids for participation, entry. We had around 400E and with that money we bought drink everything. It was even alcohol because it was not related to school. And sold the drinks for bigger price and told everyone that the club sells drinks. We had deal in shop what we did not sell we could return after party. Me and friends make a bit more than 1000E and split it and no one still knows. I don't really feel bad because we were kids like 14 and to be honest I feel kinda proud for fooling so many people. Sorry if my English sucks. Time to marvel at picture number 4. I committed academic dishonesty in my master's thesis but weren't caught. I have to come clean, I've done a terrible misdeed. Last year I graduated, and during my master's thesis, I plagiarized, and naturally, I feel horrible for doing so. I was not caught. It was unintentional, but plagiarism is plagiarism at the end of the day. Here is the story. I found a topic for my thesis, and then I scoured the internet for previous students' thesis, which inspired me to the sections which I was going to undergo during my own process. So far so good. In this case, I found 3 to 4 really good theses, where 2 of them were within the same field as my own, and this is where the plagiarism started. I noted down their process, and which things to include from the original source, which was within the limits. Everything went fine, I wrote it all, and it all came out great, but a few weeks later something kept bugging me, saying that I did something wrong. During the process I thought about whether or not I was plagiarizing, where I somehow came to the conclusion that what I did was not wrong, likely due to it being a stressful situation. What I did wrong was plagiarizing some text from another source. It was what could be described as mosaic plagiarism, where I paraphrased it completely, but I can see the structure is alike, which makes me feel so bad. I was not caught and took to turn it in, and to my surprise, It didn't even list the content, which I paraphrased as one of the sources, which really showcased how the system worked. I contemplated where or not to turn myself in for plagiarism, and even wrote with the student council ready to admit, but I chickened out. The consequences were really too much for me. We are talking about a minimum of 2 years ban from the university and in some instances a permanent ban from the university. My sole reason for taking this choice was the amount of plagiarism, around 1%, max 2%. Could be deemed as plagiarism, and it all came during the methods section. This does not excuse my poor scholarship, but ultimately made me decided that it was not worth the ban, and it would simply have to be something I have to torture myself with till the end of my days. What bothers me the most is, I could just have left this part out. But due to stress, and being bad at taking notes, I simply managed to blank this up and include it. It did not bring any value to my paper, as it was simply basic blank just to make the page minimum. Now I will have to live with my mistake, which is hard for me, as I will always have the fear of the university revoking my degree if found out, even though it is very unlikely. My thesis is not online, and no one has a copy besides the school internal system. I do not even have a copy of that blank. I also feel terrible for doing such a thing, especially as I expect more from myself. Dr. I plagiarized 1% of my master's thesis, but weren't caught. I naturally feel bad and as an imposter, who do not deserve the degree, but I have to live with it. The shame of coming clean will blank me up even more. Now broadcasting picture number 5. Lied about needing glasses and cost my parents thousands of dollars. When I was in middle school, I decided I wanted glasses. I made up that I cannot see far away. Went to the optometrist, faked my way through it, and sure enough got glasses. Have gone back several times, got several pairs of glasses I didn't need, adding up to thousands my parents spent that they didn't need to. Have now decided I don't like the way I look in glasses, and they're just a hassle, so I never wear them. My yearly checkup at the optometrist gives me so much anxiety because I have 20/20 vision. Is there any way I can stop going to the optometrist and tell them I don't need glasses without confessing I was lying? Spotlight on picture number 6. I stole a cannabis plant from my friend because I was greedy and now I regret it very much. I stole a cannabis plant right before harvest from my friend because at the time he was very annoying and he still is, but I still feel very bad for him. I am a very greedy guy and I currently hate myself for that. I will still finish the process of drying and curing the flowers, but because I feel so bad I'll probably let him have a lot of it. Signs pointing to picture number 7. I broke a kid's RayBan glasses and I ran away and became close friends with him. When I was around 13, I used to play basketball every day at a court that was a couple of blocks away. I met this kid, Ethan, who was a year younger than me, and he really loved to flex his stuff. He would bring a LV duffel bag that he used to store his shoes and whatever. So Ethan usually plays center and he would stay under the basketball rim, which doesn't have a net hanging on it. So after a game, we were all chilling around and I decided to do some half-court shots. So I proceeded to shoot from the half-court line, and at the same time, Ethan was standing around 3 feet away from the basket. I actually didn't expect the ball to hit him because my half-court shots would always hit the backboard and it would bounce off, but this time around I became Steph Curry and the ball went right in the basket without touching the rim, which didn't have a net to slow down the ball, and it went straight down to his face. His $400 glasses frame snapped into 2 and the lenses shattered everywhere. Everyone in the court rushed in to see his nose bleeding. I apologized, but he insisted that I will have to pay for it immediately. Me being a broke 13-year-old, I said that I will come back right away with the money, but I ran away and never returned to the court again. So fast forward 2 years later, my family moved out of that town to another town about 40 kilometers away. I joined the local basketball club there, and guess who I found? The same Ethan. Luckily he didn't recognize me and we became close friends and played in the same basketball team together for 3 years. It was also funny when he told me the tale of a kid who broke his dad's glasses and the kid never returned. TLDR. Title edit. If anyone wonders why he didn't recognize me, is probably because puberty hit me like a truck. Showcasing picture number 8. When I was a kid, I used to break chocolate bars in the aisles when I wasn't allowed one. I used to snap them in half, or in multiple pieces in their packets and put them back. If I was then allowed it, I'd pick one from the back. Skeptical smiley face. I feel bad for everyone who bought a broken chocolate bar, but common sense would make you check if it's broken first, right? Blank. I don't do it anymore, and I haven't done it in like 13/14 of a year. And I don't think about it, nor do I feel guilty or bad. That's life. I am a grown blank man now, and I'd still buy a broken chocolate and eat it. They taste the same. If you comment something negative, it's pointless because I'd gaff cool.